moped. Turbo moped.
Oh god, I'm cutting the clip.
Alright, it has been a very long time since I have taken a clip in the shop here to update you on the GTO. And we are getting very close to the time when we will have all the parts to put it all back together. So my evening has been spent reassembling this transmission. Everything in here was rebuilt at one point, but it was rebuilt with the 18 spline first generation parts. That's just not gonna be very good for us. So I've gone ahead and upgraded everything to 25 spline. But I've spent a good amount of time here, and actually my parents came out and helped put the final bell housing piece on because we needed to make sure we didn't damage the speed sensor. So we got that all in there nicely, and everything is spinning good, sounds good. And so I've just been taking some time cleaning it. Actually, as we speak, the boys are on their way, and I'm gonna ask them to give me a hand moving this thing over there because it is really heavy. So I know this pile looks like absolute chaos. Trust me, I know what everything is. Oil pan's good, CV axles aren't, transfer case is good. We'll need those exhaust manifolds. The turbos are bad, the valve covers are good. All the cam stuff is here. This clutch is no good. We gotta find out if this fork is usable, and there's a third one somewhere. It is chaos. The only thing that we're not gonna get this year is gonna be an aftermarket ECU. And ideally, I'd like to not go through the tuning process on this car twice. But I do want to learn it because we do have a water meth tank plumbed into the back, and I am gonna have to experiment with that at some point. One thing, one step, one day at a time. Even if it just rolls out of here on 4 wheels for this year, that's a big win. It's gonna be ready to break some hearts next year.
I came to bug Ryan. Ryan's got all sorts of stuff done here.
Frankenstein parts all over the place. This differential or transfer case is made of 2 different transfer cases. The transmission is Frankenstein. The bell housing came off of a 92. This is all a rebuilt 91. Learned the hard way that 18 spline transmissions or 25 spline transmission output shafts don't fit in 18 spline output shaft bell housings. So thankfully we had another one kicking around, so I just grabbed the bell housing from that one. And
this guy's like a god of these platforms. When he realizes he needs something, he just like
god, like demigod.
there you go. He's like, oh, I need a different case for my frickin' transmission, or I need a different bell housing. Oh, well, I'll just go see if I can grab one of those from the other cars. Awesome. Good job, Ryan.
Both of those drop to the Datsun. Do like a bi-turbo setup.
Can we quit talking about it and just do it?
Some ruckus going on outside. I found the ruckus going on outside. Let's go see. Some liquid just fell out of my mustache, and I need to clean my face. Oh. Perfect. Thank you.
We're working. I'm working. Tanner's watching. He's here for emotional support, and I guess you're filming.
I'm filming.
I'm a helping hand.
Just one helping hand.
I need this. We need to jack up that control arm a lot.
So would you say this is a hand-on experience?
This is definitely a hand-on experience.
When the neighbors complain about loud cars, so you take your Jack for a walk at 2 a.m. Nico's putting the front coilovers in the car here. Let's get a look at these. Pimpin'. This is my favorite game, Tanner.
He's jacking up the control arm, but he wedged his caliper. Crikey, mate.
Crikey.
You need something to wedge that down. Yeah, he's got it under control.
Would you say he's got it under control?
What?
Because the jack is under the Control arm.
Yes.
He's over there working. We're just shit talking.
If I wasn't in a cast, I would be throwing hands right now.
You can throw hands.
I got a no run policy, but I'll run these hands.
Who parks it in gear? Alright, after that little fiasco there, on my way out to the shop now. Gonna start getting really cracking on gapping the piston rings here for like their compression gap, not for the flat gap, I guess, if you will. See if we can't just get this bottom end assembled. We've got a whole day ahead of us. Nico and Tanner are gonna come out at some point, I think. Just coming up on the exit here, so I'm gonna put this down and I'll check back in here in a couple minutes. Finally back. We've got the heads all done, crank, block, oops, pistons, clutch, and all other assortments of goodies. The transmission that we did in the last segment, all sorts of other goodies, all ready to get reassembled and drop back into that car. All right, we unbagged the block here. Look at how clean that is. Damn. The pistons are here. So these forged pistons will be making their way in there hopefully today. All right, we've had some lunch. Excuse me. Tanner has arrived.
I am here.
We have the block under a blanket, keep the dust off of it. Dad and I were doing a little bit of messing around here and we figured out how these spiral locks work for these new pistons. So we're gonna try and, this doesn't want to focus here. We're gonna try and get some of those in there today. Well, I'm gonna try and get the bottom end short block done here today, but get those, gap some rings, and then hopefully next year gap some fools.
Gap some fools.
Yeah. Should be a good day. I totally just threw the GoPro on the floor. All right, so we're setting the main girdle here on the crank block. And we are starting using a cross inside to outside kind of pattern. And we're gonna step our torques all the way from like 8 up to the torque spec of 67. And we can flip this engine over and start measuring our rings for gap in the piston rings. And hopefully by the end of the day, we'll have all of our rods connected. So, put down here in this fancy torque wrench, put down 8 foot-pounds of torque.
Precision instrument.
So satisfying.
Get this off.
Okay.
This is getting cut out. Oh, there we go. All right.
All right. Where you at, Ryan?
Well, we didn't really take any clips of gapping the rings here, but we got our first set done. And we are just getting ready to lube everything up, put the rod bearings in here, and then set this one into the block, kind of as a bit of a test fit, and partly for organization so we don't mess up which one's supposed to go where.
Set the ring gap in each cylinder bore, assemble the piston, drop it in. That way nothing gets mixed up. It's just a different way of being methodical. So Ryan's got this thing all oiled up in every single way. I just lubed up the cylinder. So now we're getting set for rod bearings. So we'll get those set up and then we'll drop in your first piston.
All right, we're closing out here. We had a little supper break there, but we did get half of the pistons in and then staggered them nicely for a picture.
Then get it running.
Yeah,
Back
just
on
like
the road on
boom,
Monday.
like that. Boom,
Yep.
boom,
Yep.
boom. Explosion effect in here, and the car is driving down the road. Really funny clip the other day when I got in the car. So good. All right, it's a new day. I realized though that I haven't done like any introductions or closeouts or anything. The next episode's gonna start in like the middle of shaving down a piston ring or something.
It's like
You know what? it's just gonna be the way it is. It's okay.
It's like a look inside of our brains. It's
Yeah.
just like you end up in the middle of the video. That's where our brain's at.
But yeah, all three of us are gonna get working on the engine
Yep.
and see if we can't just make some good headway.
Last piston going in, and then the block is done. This will be on 2 different channels. It's up to you to find them both. All right, I gotta do my job here. Get down there.
Yeah.
Nice.
We've been doing some deep research here on the torque specs for these ARP bolts. Because they didn't send any papers in the box for it, so I've been looking on the internet, and it looks like we're good for 45 foot-pounds. So let's get that done.
Send papers in the box?
Yeah, they did. I'm just an idiot. We've got some stuff, some new parts are out, some gaskets are getting ready. All 6 pistons are in the short block. We've organized some parts we're gonna go take and wash them, and then come back and start putting all the accessories and stuff on the block. Start filling in some holes. Hopefully we can just like long block, but
Yeah.
you know, all in time.
Yeah, all the time.
Whoa, Ryan, what's that over there?
Right. Well, this evening we're doing a little bit of a different type of mobile detailing. We're doing mobile parts wash. So this is, I mean, it needs another rinse now, but you see the dramatic difference of how good that looks compared to this. So we're gonna scrub these up. Got a few brackets and stuff that got to go on the engine. Clean up the oil pan. The other thing is we're gonna get this old friction disc off of the flywheel. Oh, hey Tanner. Go Proception.
This right now?
All right, we have washed the Z. We have washed the Mazda. Sun's going down, so cars are staying wet. Nice if they would just kind of casually dry off. But I pulled this Z off the street, or onto the street, off the driveway. Now I gotta pull it back on. It's something else, to say the least. Look at the carnage here. We used a lot of soap on that Z because I needed to use up the rest of that bottle.
Both of those drop to the Datsun. Do like a bi-turbo setup.
Can we quit talking about it and just do it?
Literally though, if we have projects or crafts that we want to get up to with these old turbos,
Are they still
by
good?
all means, we'll use them.
I have an exhaust manifold too.
Nico,
That would be sweet.
before they make their way to your Datsun though, can we
Go-kart.
go-kart and then one on my daily driver 98 Civic just to see how much boost we can run through it before we send rods out of the block
Yes.
at like a 350k D16.
Moped. Turbo moped.
Oh god, I'm cutting the clip.